if my class can allow international students to sit in on-site or online, then and the international students they cannot understand Chinese. In this situation, then English must be required.
Sharing the screen. Who is going to share the screen?
Me.
Can you see the screen now?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can start.
Okay. This is group 2. We are going to present our topic is rejection of tourism as a pedagogy of residents, a case study of Sabah Budaya Badu. It's not correct. It's not pronounced correct. Continue.
Yes, Sabah Budaya Baduy.
Badui. Okay.
Mm.
And our team member, Virginia, Kian, Zhenyu, and Tammy, myself. Next page, please. Our analysis is search for the keyword on the Google Scholars and Yahoo, and identify the article which is related to our keywords, and then we copy and paste to a clean worksheet to do the word cloud analysis. Use HTML format. Next, please. This is our report content. Next, please. And next. And this is the word cloud. It's dropped with all the keyword and the frequency on it. And next, please. And this is a clean one. We remove some of the word not related to our topic. Next, please. Word cloud without keywords. Next, please. And this is the code list, clean one. We remove out all the vocabulary, all the words not related to our topic. Next, please. Thank you. After we use the word cloud analysis, we got the code list, and we asked ChatGPT to do the analysis. We asked ChatGPT to categorize the code list with the frequency and the keywords, and ask them to explain each of the category. And second, ask ChatGPT to show the possible relationship on each category and provide reasoning. Next, please. The first category is cultural heritage and tradition. The keyword, for example, traditional cultural heritage, and religion, indigenous, and this category focus on the preservation and promotion of the cultural heritage, including traditional practice, custom, and beliefs. The relation is preservation and promotion of the cultural heritage. Reasoning, the relationship focus on the importance of preserving and promoting cultural heritage, including traditionals, custom, and practice. The framework of cultural sustainability emphasizes we need to balance the preservation and cultural heritage with the evolving needs and dimensions of society. And next, Zhenyu will talk about the category 2 and 5.
I will explain Number 4, environmental conservation and sustainability. And cause related to environmental conservation, sustainability, and nature resources. Example, nature, environment, ecological, protect, preserve, sustain, environmental. This category addresses the importance of sustainable practice, conservation of natural resources, and environmental protection. Relationship, conservation and sustainable resource management. Resourcing, the relationship focus on the conservation of natural resources and sustainable environmental practices. The framework of environmental stewardship, environment responsible resource management, biodiversity conservation, reducing environmental impact, and promoting sustainable lifestyles. Next page. Number 5, social and economic factors. Those related to social and economic aspects, example, social, economic, sector, policies, practice, economic, and market. This category considers the social and economic dimensions of the subject, such as economic opportunity, social impact, and policies consideration. Relationship, social and economic development. Resourcing, the relationship focus on the social and economic aspects of sustainable development. The framework of socioeconomic impact assessment involves evaluating the potential positive and negative effects of tourism and development initiatives on local communities, employment, income distribution, social cohesion, and overall quality of life.
Okay, Virginia, the rest is your turn.
Oh my. Okay, so now we arrive at the conceptual framework. Actually, we have debate on this. The tourism has been involved, and then the fundamental matters such as indigenous tourism is an opportunity for the indigenous people or presents a major threat of cultural degradation. So we made a conceptual framework. It is based on the community concern and then how it affects to the community and to the guest relationship. Further, I will explain the basic framework to the next chapter. Now we have to know the informants. Actually, I've told you about this. This is my previous research while I'm in Baduy 2021. And 8 people here is my key informants. I gained them based on the information that I want to gather. From these informants, this is the sample of my transcript interview. Actually, I have a lot of transcript. It is more than 3, but this time I can show you 3 of them. This is Jaro Saidi, Baduy's customary leader as well as Kolot Sarip, and then I also gather one customer leader, Mang Amir. The interview conclusion actually, wait. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Actually, as we know that the news of the rejection of Baduy traditional leaders to tourism has been extraordinary throughout 2020, Baduy, which had been silent, then spoke up and stated that they would remove their status from tourism destination. If the government is serious, the rejection of Baduy tourism should be able to be traced further about what really happened and what the Baduy community wants. Furthermore, this final exam project tries to understand the situation and problems related to the tourism in Baduy area and indigenous people, and also their voice about their aspiration. Therefore, I think it is necessary to be careful in taking informant samples in order to fulfill the information and final goal of the research. The 8 informants is the key informants that I filtered, whether they are capable or not capable in providing our research question. The following are the criteria of informants who are considered relevant and have the capability to answer the research question. Here, customary institution of Baduy community, they are Jaro Pemerintah, Kolot Kadu Ketuk, Jaro Cikesik, and Jaro Cibeo. And the second one is Baduy community who actively participate in tourism activities. They are tour guides and creative economy. The last one is Baduy community who are not involved in tourism. All these informants should eventually be able to answer the research question: what is the perception of Baduy community toward tourism, and what is the desired model of tourism related to Baduy indigenous community? The interview technique used was in-depth interview with the aim of constructing past events and projecting what is expected to be happen in the future. We also use a case study strategy because this research consists of a detailed investigation, often with empirical material collected over a period of time from a well-defined case to provide an analysis of the context and processes involved in the phenomenon. And also, case study makes it possible to identify essential factors, processes, and relationships. Later, the research will be described descriptively as a depiction of various aspects of our social life based on how and why question. That's why our research question is what is the perception and what is the desired tourism model? And then the final result of this research is expected to be able to provide an interpretation of the local community response and interpret tourism from the perspective of the Baduy community. And then from the 12 recorded interviews, all informants voice their opinions from different perspectives, transcribed into my previous transcription. Some agree with tourism because it brings economic progress, but some disagree because it causes negative effects for Baduy. As we can see from the PPT here, more specifically, we're going to talk about the tourism management here based on the views of the Baduy community. Sometimes, yeah, we think is good is not always good. And it is true that indigenous communities, their voice and knowledge should be a form of integral part of indigenous tourism policy and planning. Now, the issue related is about the tourism and development management, and we're going deep into the what's wrong in Baduy. I've told you about the rejection tourism in Baduy previously several times. It is a quite unusual news from Baduy because their customary leader have decided to say no to tourism. They even sent a formal letter to our president, Indonesian President Joko Widodo, to erase Baduy from the map of Indonesian tourist destination. In the midst of growing touristification of places in Indonesia, at least before the pandemic, what Baduy community has chosen to do is something exceptional. This is not only a simple act of erasure, but also a striking resistance toward one-way tourism development narrative, which has dominated the country road of development so far. And what is the conclusion of the research? All in all, Baduy's rejection of tourism should serve as a pedagogy of resistance for many of us, of course. COVID pandemic, as past, has shown us that tourism is very volatile, precarious, which no one, especially the state, let alone local communities, should fully rely on to acquire modern goals of progress, economic development, and constant growth. Knowing that enough is crucial in any tourism cycle. Complaining and protesting may follow afterwards. If they are enough, resisting and rejecting tourism can be the next step. Refusal to be labeled and governed at the end is a step toward liberation. And then, thank you. Let us know if you have some concerns regarding this topic. Now screen, I give it back to you, Professor Gao.
Okay. Thank you for the second group presentation. Now we have 5 minutes to take any question about the presentation.
May I ask a question, although we are in same group? Because first I would like to thank you, Virginia, to bring up this interesting topic, to let us know more about the Baduy people. As we know we learn from the article, Baduy people, they are not allowed to go to school previously, right? And my question is, how many percentage of Baduy people can speak Indonesia language right now, nowadays?
Okay. It is an interesting question. While I've mentioned about Baduy people that already familiar with the tourists, they can speak Indonesian properly because they will also have some interaction among tourists, right? So it is necessary for them to learn our mother language, Indonesia. If I do some percentage, for all the Baduy people, it might be only 30% who can speak Indonesian properly. I will share my experience while I'm doing my interview with the Baduy people. Some of them are using Sundanese, and it is hard for me. The one who speak in Sundanese, who speak Sundanese is them who are not really familiar to the tourists. So as I mentioned before also, the area of Baduy that contaminated by tourists is not as much. Actually, Baduy has more than 60 villages, and the area that contaminated with tourists only 30%. All I can say, it can be concluded that only 30% of Baduy people can speak Indonesia properly, while the others, they will use Sunda as their daily language. Nah, they are who come to the school is the Baduy people that are contaminated by tourists. They are not contaminated by tourists, they are still hold tight their custom. So it is interesting that now tourists give them a negative impact on their own life. Well, while the other Baduy people say that tourism and tourists is not really as bad as you think. But me as a student who do some research there is so much differences between before and after tourists.
Okay, thank you, Virginia. Thank you for your explanation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Any other question from the audience? It's a very special case. Maybe it's a first-hand observation and data to share with us the situation of this place. I'm curious, but Virginia, how did you get the access to interview them?
So
yeah.
Oh, okay. So the story began. I made a letter to their customary leader. It is Jaro Pemerintah. We can call it as a, how do you call it? Wait. Head of village. It's like a village chief of Baduy. And then I made and sent a letter to him, and then he accepted. Then I can do my research in Baduy a month. And the village chief introduced me to my foster parents there, and then yeah, of course my foster parents they are Baduy people, and then this foster parents introduced me to the informant that I can ask my all of my question. Actually, I spent 7 days to observe about the informant that really capable to answer the question and see the research matters. Oh, more than 7 days. It almost 2 weeks. I spent for a day there for observing the right informant to answer all of my research question, because in Indonesia, this issue is quite sensitive because the Baduy customary leader sent a letter to the president, our president, and then this issue was booming 2 years ago. Some of them, some of government cannot say this is a problem because I'm sure they are hiding something from me. They won't say this is a problem because they will say this is a miscommunication. So I've told you earlier that I should uh, take care of this issue and pay so much attention to find the right informant because yeah, this issue is really sensitive at that time. And I'm thankful that my foster parents helped me to find the right informant while I'm also observing the right informant. Before I get into a serious interview, I was attracting them by, how do you say it? We have some social community activities like going to the field and then playing with the kids. And that's what I did while I'm in Baduy to attract their trust. So after I get their trust, and then they can share their information as much as they can share.
Okay.
Mm.
So I'm wondering, final question. I'm wondering,
Mhm.
after your study,
Mhm.
do you think you're the policy maker or some stakeholders there
Mm.
will they read your report?
Mhm.
I'm
Of
just
course.
curious.
Yes. So my final project, this project while I'm in Indonesia is also the output is to make a policy paper recommendation for the policymaker in Indonesia. They read it and now they are making up some adjustment for Baduy people and then also the tourism management in Baduy. I've been in Baduy at a year ago before I go to Taiwan. Now Baduy is getting better and better. And
Oh, okay.
uh-huh.
Because usually when we talk about a topic
Mm-hmm.
related to the community-based tourism, usually they
Mm-hmm.
are diverse voices from
Mm-hmm.
uh, different stakeholders. So each the situation is sometimes or often is complicated. So I'm wondering, did you get any funding or in that funding maybe there's some academic or research ethic, because if you get funding from some specific site or
Mm-hmm.
stakeholders, you may tend uh, to have their position to say more about them. Is this an issue in your study? Can you
Yes,
add?
I got funding from my home university
But
doing this research only.
your university, do you think does your university stand for any stakeholder, or they are just neutral?
Mm, actually, the stakeholder have the stakeholders, they have different voices. Some of them are agree, some of them are disagree. They are who disagree say that this is just the matter is just a miscommunication between Baduy leader and then the government. while the stakeholders that agree this is a important issue agree that tourism is now going destructive and extractive. So the stakeholder that fund me to do this research, well, it is my home university and Banten Tourism and Culture Office. They are have some special issue to make Baduy more convenient for tourists and also for their local community. Yeah,
Okay.
you're right. It is a bit complicated when I and my home university making the new tourism policy recommendation, because we're facing some different voices.
Yeah. It may be also helpful that because although you get funding from your university, but the money is possible from some donation from the business or is the money from government. They may also, although it's indirect, but still they may have some influence.
Oh,
So okay, but anyway, your presentation is very good. I enjoy a lot for your
oh.
presentation to provide such detailed information and some the detailed information about the place. I think first it will be very difficult to see this case if we don't have your presentation. Yeah, very nice, very nice.
Thank you. Maybe
Okay.
later if you guys come to Indonesia, then you can contact me. I will guide you to Baduy.
Okay, very nice. Okay, thank you again for this group's presentation.
Thank
Okay,
you.
now